Hello, fellow gunners. Blah blah blah. Blah 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 blah. Blah blah blah. Blah 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 blah. Blah blah blah. Shotshell powder from Alliant. This is the 2028. Now this powder is supposed to be quite a bit like Unique. A little denser though. But it's supposed to have pretty close to the same burn rate. So, yeah, it's a little smaller. I'll bring you down here and let you look at it. And hopefully you can focus in on that. That's smaller than Unique. So yeah, see where it's denser. We're going to see if I can duplicate. Now, I'm not going to be able to show any speeds on any of this, but we're going to see if we can duplicate some loadings from Unique. All right, well, I'm going to put this back in the can. Actually, I'm going to put it in the powder measure. And we're going to load up some 45s. Now this time, I'm going to use all Winchesters. 50 Winchester casings. I'm going to have 5 different loads for the 230 grain, and then 5 loads, both of them the same. I think it's 5.5 grains up to 6.7 grains. All right, here we go, guys. Yeah, I'm going to load a 5.5, 5.8, 6.1, 6.4, and 6.7 grains of this 2028 behind my 130 grain Lee turcated cone, or however you pronounce it, a little cone bullet. And then I'm going to take the same charges, put it behind my 200 grain, flat round nose bullet. Like I said, I'm going to be using Winchester cases all the way through. To see how this is doing, I really believe that we need a consistent components. So, let's get started. I've got charge weight out here, 5.5. Start out with the zombie green here. Oh, I ain't even got a shell holder in there. So hard to see that press. Sorry about that, guys. There she is. Ain't she a beauty? Oh. I need where's my thingy? Oh well. We'll find out later. I got a pretty good feeling that this powder, it looks like Unique. It's just like a mini version of it. It's just really smaller than Unique. It's cool. Normally don't have much trouble with Unique in my measure, metering out or throwing consistently. I'd say this powder would probably be better since it is smaller. It's still a flake powder. And I don't really like the looks of that bullet, but I sure have not got any accuracy out of it, but all I've tested it out of is a high point, which might change down the road. Well, so far it seems to be metering pretty good. It looks like lipstick. All right, guys, I'm not going to bore you with me sitting here loading these shells. You know what I'm doing. You guys gone through this. But that's my charges. 5.5, 5.8, 6.1, 6.4, and 6.7. And I hope I'm not doing the wrong thing by going 0.3 grain intervals, but it should be safe if Unique. According to my Lyman manual, I can go up to 7 grains, so I'm way under according to that. That's on Unique. That's with Unique. And supposedly this is supposed to be very similar. So, okay, I'm going to load these up and I'll get back with you. Well, there's my first 5. Kind of colorful, huh? Kind of earthy tones, but I found my cartridge box I was looking for. I'll be putting them in that. Okay, guys. I got them 230s. Now I'm going to load the 200s in the 5.5. That's what it looks like. Got 2 seating dies, so I'm switching back and forth. Instead of changing my powder measure, I'm changing my dies. Because the last time I done this, I loaded all one bullet, changing my powder, and then I had to change the powder back and forth to load the other one. And I thought, it's got to be easier the other way. So this time I'm changing the dies instead of the powder measure. See if it comes out better. All right, guys, I'm going to end this video. Like I said, I'm going 5.5, 5.8, 6.1, 6.4, and 6.7. Well, guys, I'm at the range. I'm going to test these rounds in my JHP. But the 25-yard range is full, and so is the 50, so I'm stuck with the 100. So we're just testing the function today. Not getting any accuracy out of this gun anyway. So, all right, guys, here we go. 230 grain bullet. 5.5 grains of 2028. Alright, somebody's going downrange. We'll have to pause. Alright, guys, here we go. Ooh, felt pretty stout. And that's just our start. Alright guys, I think I've miscalculated this. That's showing pressure right off the bat. I thought when I was shooting it, it felt pretty stout. So I might shoot the 5.8, see what it does, and then not go ab on that. Alright guys, here we go with the 5.8. Kind of nervous. Hey, where'd y'all go? Oh, there you are. Yeah, that was a handful. I miscalculated on this start to finish. I am not going to shoot the 6.1 grain. That's a plenty right there. Oh, all right, guys. This gun's supposed to be rated for 45 super, according to High Point. So I am going to try this 6.1 grains. But I am not doing the 6.4 or 6.7 like I've got loaded. It's going to be way too much, I guarantee it. Shouldn't probably be shooting these, but I'm going to try it. What's $170, huh? Alright, I had a misfire. That went alright. I'm sorry my camera keeps moving. Okay, I dropped two somehow, so I'm going to shoot them. It's quite a bit of pressure. Alright, that's my last one. I've got two more loads, two more charges, the 6.4 and 6.7. I am not doing it. That's enough right there. So I would say 6 grains is probably a limit on that, and a High Point anyway. Alright, here we go with the 200 grain. 5.5 grains. not bad. All right, guys, here we go. 5.8 behind the 200 grain. Man, that powder's just stout. I really underestimated this powder. Now we're going with the 6.1 behind the 200 grain. Tried to have a double feed. I didn't care for that. All right, guys, just for the fun, see if it'll handle it. I am going to do the 6.4 in the 200 grain bullet.
It's humid.
All right, the little gun held it down. Okay, I think I'm going to call that a conclusion on this range session. All right, guys, I'm back from the range. Ooh, as you can tell by that range session, I'm not too happy with my thoughts on where I should have started on this or finished on this. I really underestimated it. I guess because it's smaller than Unique. Even though it burns like Unique, it's smaller, so it's not going to act like Unique. It's, you know, it's not filling the case. It's just really stronger. It built up pressure faster than I thought it would. Here's the primer on the 6.1 behind the 230 grain bullet. You can see it. See where it filled the chamber. Just yeah, I underestimated it. It's not the powder's fault. Powder's probably pretty good powder. I'm really shocked though. It's really dirty. And just like the clay dot, it burnt the casings. I don't know that I've ever run into that like that before. Now here's the 6.4 grains on the 200 grain bullet. Showing about the same pressure as the 6.1 behind the 230. So in the 230 grain bullet, I did not shoot the 6.4 or the 6.7. I'd say behind the 230 grain bullet, 6 grains is it. I wouldn't go over 6 grains. So now I'm going to have to pull some bullets. And then on the 200 grain bullet, I did not shoot the 6.7. The 6.4, yeah, you could probably load that if you've got a pretty strong gun. But if you've got an older gun, like maybe an old GI gun, I wouldn't shoot it in that. Like I said, when I was down at the range, according to High Point, this gun's rated for 45 Super. So if you know, you go to the store and you find 45 Super ammunition, you can shoot it in this gun. They said this is can shoot any over-the-counter ammunition for a 45 ACP. So it's rated for 45 Super. So that could be one thing that saved my gun from disaster on this one. But now that's my findings today, guys. I probably could have shot the 6.4 and the 6.7 behind the 230, but I could tell by the pressure that I was getting that I just did not want to do that. And as you can tell, once I started getting into the higher pressures on this gun, it started acting goofy. I was getting double feeds. I was getting the shell went in and it just wouldn't fire. It just was a dead trigger. I had to pull it back, and when I did, it popped one shell out, and then it popped another one out. I don't know how that happened, but yeah, once I got up into that higher pressure, the gun just didn't like it. I could tell it just, but okay. That's my conclusions on that, on the 2028 powder for the 230 grain bullet. 6 grains, I would not go over 6 grains. On the 200 grain, flat round nose, probably about the same. You're going to get really iffy around 6 grains behind this 2028 powder. I did shoot up to 6.4, but as you guys can see, that's quite a bit of pressure for a 45 ACP. It's not worth it, especially if you're just wanting to plink with cast bullets. You're not hunting with them. Well, maybe you are. Maybe you're shooting polar bears. Okay, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure to share, like, and subscribe. Get you in the next video.